Okay, so in this one we're not going to use architecture materials at all, we're just going to create a metal material. So in this one I'm going to press M and just go over here and grab a ray trace material, like so. And in our ray trace material I'm going to just drag that across, like that. And if I render, you can see it's just a kind of standard plasticky shape. And for reference I'll put our obelisk next to it. There we go. Now what I'm going to do over here in the diffuse is I'm going to use a noise map, like so. And if I just, apply my noise map, just so we can see it, I've clicked here. And I'm going to set my size up nice and large. Make this fractal, high of 0.55 and low of 0.54, and then we get this kind of splodging effect happening on here. And I can reduce the levels a little bit, maybe to about 1.5, like that. Now for the colours, I'm going to go for this kind of dark grey here. Then for colour 2, I'm going to go for the same, but a little bit lighter, just so you can hardly see the difference. Like that. There. I mean, it is minute, the kind of difference between the two shades. Okay, but the reason I've done that, in fact I'll drop this one just a tiny bit more. The reason I've done that is just so that I can apply some different, what do you call it? Kind of glossiness to it. So if I go into my maps here, and if I go to my glossiness, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a copy of the diffuse colour into the glossiness, and click copy. And then in here I'm going to change these again to their more standard black, and then maybe not quite so black, like that. And now what that means is if I up the specular level on this, you can see that the glossiness kind of shifts when it hits one of those areas, like so. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go down to my reflection map here. In my reflection I'm going to chuck a metal loom shader, and with my metal loom shader, which has too high reflectivity, I'm going to change this to 0.22. And then in the surface material I'm going to darken it right down like this and close. Now I'll hit render, and you're starting to see this is really darkening up a bit. The reflect colour I'm going to darken down as well. Check that again. Okay, let's bring that back, and I'm going to change my reflection to about 25. And you'll notice it's reflecting less and less each time I check it now. That's fine. Now for my bump map in here, I'll do, let me think, maybe a cellular map. And in my cellular map, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my cellular to about here, just instance it. Okay, and I'm going to change my tiling. Just really reduce this down to about 0.01. Increase this one right up like that. Reduce this one down a bit. Okay, now back in here again. I'm going to change my bump to about -2. And if I do a render now, you'll notice there's minor things happening on the surface here. So I'll go back into my cellular, and I'm going to reduce the size of this, like so, make it much smaller. There, that's better. Just a slightly more beaten surface design there. Okay, really could do with darkening that just a little bit more. So I go into my diffuse colour here, change that a bit darker. well. And just render that one out. Yep, that's better. Quite a lot of light on this side, but that's okay. Alright then, and that will make our second material. And what I'll do with that is, I'll just save that one off as well. And I'll call this lighter material. Okay, and what I'll do in the final part, sorry, not in the final part, in the third appendix, is we'll make our glowing material. And our glowing material is obviously going to be used for the crystal and for areas where we need to apply glow. So till then, I'll see you in Appendix C.